So in the last video, we set up these caissons and we set up the steel beam, and we have this wall going around here. This is just a generic wall. So we would want to set this up based on the requirements of the project. And with that being said, we want to also have our trench footing. So let's go to architecture and we'll just draw a new wall. And I'm going to make this wall our 300 generic for a second. And I'm going to change this to finish face exterior. And so I'm just going to draw this from that exterior edge in. So we have our, I guess, is this 450 to the outside of the wall, I guess? I think it is. So we can adjust that to the outside of the wall. Uh, 0.45 or 4.3, I guess yours are. And then this one would be, I'll just grab both my walls here. Just going to move these walls in. 2.2 or 0.22. Yeah. And so if I were to cut a section here, and again, sections are your best friend. You probably do want to make sure you delete them after them if you're cutting sections everywhere, because we are going to have some required sections for you later. But I think sections are a great tool to start working with stuff. So if you remember that detail I did on the board, we have our 300 wall. What I'm going to go here is I'm going to rename this, and let's duplicate it, and we'll call it trench wall. And that way we won't get confused about what the wall is. And we'll call this 300 millimeter concrete. And then we can just go into our edit structure here. We can apply our concrete material. So we'll go to concrete. And just some sort of cast in place concrete, cast in place gray is fine. One little trick too is I typically turn off the surface pattern, because then you'll kind of get that speckled look on the outside. So I'll change your surface pattern to none on the material, and that just turns off the concrete hatch everywhere on the outside. I'm just, for those that have taken Revit with me, I'm not a big fan of seeing that concrete color everywhere. So we'll turn that off. We've got our trench wall here now. And so when we talked about datums, do we actually see any datums in here? Let me just go to VG. Where are our datums? They might be here, but they might just be, I think they're just not extended far enough. So if I go to here, they're probably like over here, some weird spot somewhere. I don't actually see them anywhere. I do not know. Let's go to VG. Let's look at where our level lines are. Are they off? They're on. So I think what's happening is our level lines are somewhere else, and we probably just have to find and go through our elevations to get them over that far. So what I'll do, yeah, here they are in our elevations. We want to make sure we select the dot and just drag that over. And then we'll select the dot and drag that this way. And it keeps trying to select the lock. There we go. And so now our level lines are there. Let me see if we're seeing them in our section. Still not yet. So we might have to go to a different one here. Bring those over that way. Bring those over that way. And there we go. We see our datum line. So this wall here, we want it to start probably at our, we actually want it to start at 0. So we want this, our top to be 0. But before we fix that, we'll go down maybe 1.35, which negative 1.35 is 150 for grade, and then 1.2 meters below that. And eventually, again, we want to set that up in a datum line. So then this, our top constraint will be 0. So that's what our trench wall would look like. And when you look at this in 3D, you can see our trench wall intersects with our caisson. And so I wouldn't bother trying to fix that from a modeling perspective. I would just draw them overlapping like that. So, that help?